where we take a look at the stories in the Bible and see what we can learn from them. Today's story comes from 2 Samuel chapter 6, verses 1 through 8. King David once again wants to bring the Ark of God back to Jerusalem. The Ark had been in the possession of the Israelites for quite some time, but it hadn't been brought into Jerusalem because Solomon's temple wasn't finished being built yet. So they brought the Ark to a threshing floor where David and his men camped. While it was there, David got an idea to, spice things up and make the entrance of the Ark a little more grand. So he decided that he was going to carry the Ark on his shoulders into the city. Now, this is not how the Ark was to be carried. It had specific poles with hooks on it to be carried by, and those poles were to rest on the shoulders of the priests. That's how it was to be carried. But David didn't want to do it that way. He wanted to do it his way. So he took the Ark off the cart, set it on his own shoulders, and started to dance and play and sing as he walked into Jerusalem. Now, halfway in, the oxen that were carrying the cart stumbled, and when that happened, one of the men, Uzzah, reached out to steady the Ark, but he reached out and touched it with his hand, which is another no. No touching the Ark with your hands. He did it with his shoulder, I guess, but still, that's not how you're supposed to touch it. You're not even supposed to look at it. But Uzzah, wanting to help, touched it, and immediately God struck him dead on the spot. And so David, being the gracious king that he is, he lamented over Uzzah and mourned for him, and even gave him a proper burial. Then afterward, David was afraid and said, "Who could ascend into the Lord's presence? Who am I, David, that you are gracious to me?" And so he wasn't allowed to bring the Ark into Jerusalem at that time. They brought it back to the threshing floor, and later on David's son Solomon brought it into the temple. There's a lot of great lessons we can learn from this story, like following instructions and not trying to do things your own way. And also, God is gracious, but he expects us to do our part. I mean, Uzzah, in his heart, he probably had good intentions, right? He saw the cart start to wobble and he wanted to help, but he didn't know the proper procedure. And so he did something that was well-intended, but it ended up costing him his life. So as we go through life, we have to remember that God has given us his word. It may not seem like a big deal to touch the Ark or to carry it on your shoulders, but if we don't follow God's word and we do things our own way, it could cost us dearly, just like it did for Uzzah. So, what do you think? What lessons have you learned from this story? Leave a comment down below.